Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Board of Commission, City of Bowling Green, Kentucky, regular meeting, City Hall, September 17, 2024. We are going to begin with an invocation and pledge, and I'm going to lead it tonight, so if you would. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day you have made. We thank you for this city. We thank you for this community. We thank you for our citizens. Every day, we thank you for the public defenders that support us. We thank you for our city employees that work hard for us. We pray right now specifically for one of our firefighters that is in need and is fighting. And we pray for his family. We pray for his strength. And we pray along with our community. We thank you for the people that serve our community. We thank you for the leaders, a part of our community, and we pray for their discernment and their decisions as they work and serve our community. In this we pray, in Jesus' name, amen. We'll do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Meisel, do you have comments at this time?
We want to do a roll call first, or?
Oh, let's try that. Roll call, Mrs. Jackson.
Commissioner Beasley Brown. Here. Commissioner Hill. Here. Commissioner Perigin. Here. Commissioner Bailey.
Here.
Mayor Alcott.
Here. Right. We're all here.
So I just have a couple, Mayor. We unfortunately lost a dear lady to our community this past week, Miss Watheta Buford. I can still kind of see her sitting. She would always come in and sit on this side, and was very involved with Human Rights Commission, Martin Luther King, all kinds of things in the community, and we always worked well with her. She was always a great partner, and we just want to keep her family in our thoughts and prayers. I think her service is this coming weekend, Saturday, and so we just want to honor her, everything that she did for our community, and thank her for that. Keep her family in your prayers. Secondly, just my usual comment, if you have public comments to make, please sign the register in the back corner of the room. We'll take those up after our regular session, and I think that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. So we're announcing the public hearing here. Okay, we're having a public hearing. For the purpose of this public hearing is to review the proposed fiscal year 2025 expenditure recommendations for the municipal aid program, liquid fuel tax, and coal mineral servants tax funds.
I'd like to ask Melissa Kansler, our city engineer, to come up and make this presentation to you. This is required under KRS Chapter 174 that we hold this public hearing, make it official. So I'll turn it over to Melissa. Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm Melissa Kansler with the Public Works Department. As usual, we're before you every year to talk about the proposed expenditures. I want to thank the Finance Department and Erin Ballou for helping me get these numbers together, because she is definitely the one who knows where this money sits and where it comes from. So first of all, we're going to talk about two funds: the Municipal Aid Fund, which we also call the Liquid Fuel Tax, LFT for short. These are based on taxes received by the state on each gallon of gas that is sold. And the purpose of this income is to use on roadway improvements. A real quick overview of the fund activity. At the end of FY24, there was a balance of roughly $1,306,000. We are projecting revenue in FY25 of $3,341,000, and we are proposing to expend approximately $2,950,000. And as every year, we have allocated these funds to certain activities to help improve our roadway network, whether it be maintenance, new roadways, improvements, and safety improvements, traffic signals. As always, one of the main goals is to resurface our streets. So $2 million of that is going towards the resurfacing or the overlay for FY25. Currently, we're pulling together that list of streets and hope to have that out to bid in the next month. But we're projecting about 12 miles of streets, because that is what the $2 $2 million got us last year. With every contract, it's a little different. If we have to do repairs, we always have to upgrade handicap ramps as we go. So the more of that sort of activity we do, the less streets we pave. But roughly 12 miles is what we're looking at. Additionally, with the LFT monies, we have $200,000 set aside for sidewalk rehabilitation. Excuse me. We have set a program up in about 2015 to maintain our existing sidewalks. So this is not to be confused with our new program, our new sidewalk program. So we are looking at sidewalk priority zone 2, which the way we set these zones up is looking at where people are traveling most on our sidewalks. We started downtown, medical center area, Western Kentucky University area. We have moved over on the west end where our sidewalks are older, and we're working through a lot of the rehab in that area. So we have identified several spots. These are what we consider safety hazards, whether they're trip hazards, missing sidewalk segments, where it's buckling because of trees, anything of that nature. So $200,000 will be allocated towards sidewalk rehab. And finally, with the LFT funds, we have budgeted $750,000 in addition to the existing $750,000 for Green Hill Street Extension. This is a roadway in Whispering Hills neighborhood that's been on the books for a couple years. It will connect the Whispering Hills neighborhood over to Veterans Memorial. With that project, we're going to connect greenways. We're going to add a traffic signal there at Keystone Subdivision and Hickory Street. So with this extra money, once we work through all the FEMA regulations and approvals, we hope to get this project on the street for construction. The second fund that I'm here to overview is the Coal and Mineral Severance Tax Fund. Again, this money comes from the state. It is a tax that is placed on coal and mineral haulers throughout Kentucky. Warren County qualifies for this, so Bowling Green does receive this funding. And these funds, just as the LFT funds, are to be used for transportation-related improvements. Every year, we get revenue from this. We're projecting roughly $50,000 to come in this year. We currently have a balance at the end of FY24 of $148,000. We are proposing to spend $40,000 this year to rehab and paint some existing decorative traffic signal poles that exist along Kentucky Street and 31W bypass. The purpose of this is not only to improve the aesthetics, but also to prolong their life and keep those nice decorative poles in service a little bit longer. So $40,000 for that. At that time, the fund balance is estimated to be at $150,000 at the end of FY25. So with that, that is the overview as we know it today for LFT and coal and mineral severance tax monies. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them at this time.
Thank you, Melissa. Appreciate that. Questions? Okay. Yes.
So a couple years ago, we got that grant funding to be able to repair the sidewalks along the state roads within the city limits. And of course, that means the amount of sidewalks we now have to maintain has greatly increased. And so I was just curious if this $200,000, if we're increasing sort of the amount that we're spending because we have more to take care of.
Did increase it this past year. I think maybe not last year, but the year before, we only had 100,000. The price of concrete has dramatically risen. And of course, now when we do our evaluations in these zones that we already had set up, we have to encompass all the state sidewalks as well. So that's increasing. I think we have, and don't write this down, over 50 miles of state sidewalk that we maintain now. So hopefully we got those in pretty good shape with that grant and that money that we used a couple years back, but we are definitely looking at those. So currently we have, as far as sidewalk rehab, we have identified in the Parker Bennett area and then across Gordon in the Double Springs, Raven, that's that area that we are going to spend some of this money to fix. We started last year, ran out of money, so we're going to proceed with what we found so far. Once we get through those zones, if we have money, we can move on and evaluate the next priority zone. So the way we set those up, like I said, we started this program in 2015. We started with our priority 1 zones around the medical center, moved up through downtown, and up toward campus where, you get a lot of foot traffic. And then we moved over to the west end where the sidewalks are older and more in need.
That's great. Thank you so much. I just want to make sure we're not getting into a place where we're not investing a little bit at a time so that then we
Yes.
have a huge thing to take care of later. So
It-
that's good to hear that
It
we're
can never be
keeping up.
enough. And prices are going to continue to rise, unfortunately, but we do what we can. We fix the most egregious. We try to save some of the longer, I guess, segments of sidewalks for more of a project-related fix and not use these funds. Maybe they become a CIP project and use different funds. These are more spot improvements.
Well, I know it's going to be a big improvement for that neighborhood that desperately needs that access via sidewalks. There's a lot of seniors who live in that neighborhood who need access with walking or their motorized wheelchair, and so I know this will help them get to where they need to go safely. So thank you all so much.
No more questions? Okay, thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Okay, our first item is approval of minutes for regular meeting September 3rd, 2024, and our special work session on September 5th, 2024.
So move.
Moved by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Bailey. Discussion at this time. I will state that the meeting that we had for the special work session, we did an update in historic Southern Queen Hotel, new roundabout design, affordable housing, Riverfront Park, Greenways Phases 1 and 2, Project Pride, Housing Authority and Small Business Accelerator, Bowling Green Police Department, and Life Navigation Center were good information because it was bringing up our community on a multitude of projects that have been in work for the last 3 to 4 years and come into fruition. And hopefully we can do more events like that in the future. Commissioners, thank you very much for your support and help on that. Any further discussion? None? Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal Order Number 2024-208.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Jake Moore to the position of Grants Coordinator in the Neighborhood and Community Services Department.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Sue Perigin. Mr. Mizel.
I'd like to ask Brent Childers, our Neighborhood Community Services Director, to come up and make this recommendation. Brent.
As I also like to say, the good Brent. But that's just personal opinion.
Too many Brents.
Thank you, Mayor Commissioners. Proud to be here tonight to recommend the appointment of Charles Jake Moore. I didn't really know Charles was his name until just the other day. So Jake, I think he's a familiar face. Jake has actually been employed with us as a part-time project coordinator since December of last year. He came on board whenever we received the CPRG grant from EPA. We hired him as a part-time employee, and we've been working with him for the last several months and recognizing there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of opportunity. At that same time, back in the spring, we realized we were going to get a new set of funding that we didn't receive before. Item 9 tonight, I believe it is, the home funding is a new set of funding. So there's a new responsibility placed upon the grant division. And also, and you'll see in the memo, in the last 3 years, the grant division has received $32 million of federal funding that they're responsible for overseeing, managing, monitoring, making sure that we're following all the rules. And so we said, we got a real opportunity here. So I appreciate Jeff, Aaron, Katie coming together for this idea of bringing Jake from a part-time position to a full-time position. Jake was also, he probably knows more about city government than some of us combined. He was also a reporter for the Daily News before he came to work for the city. Originally from Louisville and has a degree in journalism from WKU, so he's a hilltopper. And so we're excited to have Jake joining NCS. Also get the proud privilege of literally increasing a division within my department by 200% or 100%. We get to double it from one person to 2 people. So we're excited about the opportunities, and we welcome Jake. He is here tonight. If he would stand, there we go. And then also has an item on the agenda later. So we're putting him to work very quickly. So without hesitation, I would like to make the recommendation for Jake Moore as the new grants coordinator, Neighborhood and Community Services.
Thank you very much, Brent. Jake, did you bring anybody with you?
Yes, my mom is here tonight.
Hello, welcome tonight. So Jake, congratulations on this, and I wish you well on this endeavor because it will bring us a lot of fruition, so appreciate that. Commissioners?
Congratulations, Jake. And Nick. Nick's got some help. great.
And Matt. All right, roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, congratulations, Jake. Municipal Order Number 2024-209.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Wanda Trim to the position of Housing Support Specialist in the Neighborhood and Community Services Department.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Hill, seconded by Commissioner Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
So I'm going to ask Lori Gray, our HR manager, to come up and make this recommendation for appointment. But if you'll, I don't want to steal your thunder, but this is very impressive. 240 applications, and Ms. Trim is the winner. So that's very impressive to me. So Lori, take it away.
Good evening.
Evening.
I'm here to recommend the appointment of Wanda Trim to the position of the Housing Support Specialist position. Wanda is recommended for appointment. She is a graduate of Greenwood High School. She has an associate's degree associate's degree and bachelor's degree in business management from Mid-Continent University. She currently works as a property manager for PDC Companies. She previously worked for Texas Department of Child Protective Services. She is here this evening, and I'll have her stand up. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
Well, hello, Wanda, and we see Elvira came tonight, so how are you? Are you happy with this news? Oh, excellent. All right, commissioners? Okay, roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, congratulations, Wanda. Municipal Order Number 2024-210.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Rachel Dunn to the position of Administrative Assistant in the Police Department.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, seconded by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
I'll ask Lori to come back up for this one as well. This is a position in the police department. Lori?
I'm here again to recommend the appointment of Rachel Dunn to the position of Administrative Assistant in our Communications Dispatcher Division. Rachel is a graduate from Logan County High School and has an associate's degree from Southern Kentucky Community and Technical College. She is currently a life enrichment director at Christian Care Communities, and she's also worked as a dispatcher for the city of Bowling Green in the past. She is here with us this evening. And let me know if you have any questions.
We're going to have to call you Rachel, too. Did you bring anybody with you tonight? Well, it's good to see you tonight, and congratulations. All right, commissioners, roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, congratulations. Municipal Order Number 2024-211.
Municipal order approving a donation agreement for playground improvements at Covington Woods Park from the Teresa Wilson Endowment Fund.
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, seconded by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
This one here is a special one for me. A longtime friend of mine, Mr. Rick Wilson, will get up here just in a few minutes. But I'd like to ask Brent Belcher to come up and tell you about this special gift we're about to get. So, Brent.
Good evening. I'm the original Brent, so let's make sure that's clear. He's like new Coke. So anyway, we'll talk about the reason why we come today. Though it's very proud to be here. The Teresa Wilson Endowment Fund, via Mr. Rick Wilson, as Jeff mentioned this summer, brought Mr. Wilson and myself in contact, and rather brief conversation. We talked about some opportunities we felt our department had, some future projects, if you will, and Mr. Wilson felt like the Covington Woods was a great chance for what I would define as a public-private partnership. So this $40,000 donation will assist us. This will be an FY26 budget request, so understand the timeline for that would be next July is the next FY. We may very well be looking at next April for playgrounds. We tend to target the spring of that fiscal year, so we'll see how that works. But this project as a whole will be one of the goals that our department has is when we're improving and replacing playgrounds, We want to really concentrate on surfacing. We feel like that's the best way for our entire community to play, to eliminate barriers. And we're trying to move away a little bit from mulch and more into inclusive surfacing, which could be pour in place and it could be turf, kind of like you're familiar now with the Fringe. That's a couple blocks away. That might be part of the surfacing as well. We'll let the playground companies kind of design that for us. But that's the surfacing we're looking for. This money will help go towards that purchase, but it'll also help us with some signage, will help us in those two things. And then we're proud to say that we have some musical instruments already at Covington Woods, and those will be renamed to Teresa Wilson Sensory Gardens after the completion of this project. I think I've talked enough. If Mr. Wilson would like to come up and speak, I believe now is the time, and he can introduce his family and such.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, staff, it's a great pleasure to be here tonight. Let me introduce my support staff that's here. This is my daughter, Amanda Kilgore, and in her lap is Caroline Gray, future playground user. I guess actually current, right, Amanda? Yeah, current there already. Her husband, Will Kilgore, Charlotte Jane, is in Will's lap, and then Will's mother is here, Miss Renee Kilgore. But I want to put a little life to this and tell you guys a little bit of a story. I am a native of Bowling Green. Actually grew up on a dairy farm just 8 miles south of here, so Bowling Green has always been my home. In 1988, I got recruited to go away to Nashville, Tennessee to work at a bank down there. In Nashville, while there, I met a young lady named Teresa Walker. We got married. When it was time to raise a family, it was time to come back to Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is the best place in the world to live and raise a family. So we did that. Miss Amanda and her brother Neil were great participants in your city parks that you have around this community. It's just a great place to be able to go. So they had names for these different parks. There was a Rowley Slide Park, but Covington, which was about 1/4 mile away from our house, was Amanda and Neil's Park. That's the one they called it. So when this opportunity came up, and Jeff connected me with Brent, and we talked about what to do and how to make this work, Amanda and Neil's Park was definitely the place to be able to go. So Teresa came back to Bowling Green with me, and this being such a welcoming community, the community welcomed her with open arms. She fit right into the community, served on the SkyPack board, sang there with Orchestra Kentucky, sang in our church at Eastwood. Unfortunately, Teresa passed away some 7 years ago of a real rare liver cancer, and our great friends at the time were able to make some contributions that we put into the community foundation. So from those monies, part of those monies go with some monies from my former employer, Truist Bank. We're able to make this contribution to the city. So I look very forward to being able to go to Amanda and Neil's Park. Brent, you might want to think about that, okay? In seeing this next generation, how this pays forward and passes forward to Caroline and Charlotte being able to use that. And I'll guarantee you Amanda will have them over there on a weekly basis, if not more, because it's not very far from Highland where they live now, to be able to take advantage of this park in the greatest place in the world to raise a family. So I thank you all for your contributions to our community, this great community that we have. Thank you for keeping up this great community as you all do, and I wish you Godspeed in your continuance. Thank you for your time.
We thank you, Rick, and your family. This is an incredible tribute, and we like to say, not bad for a boy from Rich Pond.
Thank you, Rick. I don't mind saying Teresa was Renee, a heck of a good tennis player, and had her way with me many times. I don't think I ever beat her, or you. But Thank you, Rick. Sweet.
Mr. Wilson, I walked in here, I guess, with the mother of your son-in-law. So it was amazing that just to have a tribute to your wife and to have something that's going to be there that can benefit your grandchildren is amazing. And it's an honor even for you to do that because it shows you know how deep your love was for your wife and stuff. And it shows also that her legacy will go on even through this park. So thank you for doing that for the city.
I want to also just thank you and your whole family. It just means so much that you all would think about, what are ways that you can do something that impacts all of our community and it's free and just accessible for many generations to come of kids and grandkids of being able to enjoy that park. And it's just such a great opportunity, especially since we just created this nonprofit to make these partnerships more possible. And these partnerships with the city is just so exciting about the opportunities that we have to continue to all love on this city and make sure that we are making investments that improve quality of life for generations to come. So thank you all so much for thinking about doing this and partnering with us to make this happen.
Just have to say, anyone that heard Teresa sing, it moved you. Thank you for sharing her with the community. And thank you. I look forward to my grandchildren coming to Bowling Green and playing at that park. So thank you. I love seeing you all walking in the neighborhood. So I know Teresa is smiling down.
All right, roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin. Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, thank you very much. Congratulations. Municipal order number 2024-212.
Municipal order accepting and ratifying actions of city officials and executing grant agreements among the Bowling Green Warren County Regional Airport Board, the City of Bowling Green, Warren County, and the Federal Aviation Administration for the Terminal Apron Rehabilitation Construction Project.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
The airport was notified recently of some opportunities for these FAA grants and had to act quickly. We're under a deadline, and so we went ahead and executed these documents. And before you know it is a ratification of these. There's 3 different grants here that they're going to use to work on their apron project, rehabilitate their terminal apron there at the airport. And 3 grants are entitlement. One from entitlement, which is 100% funded, no match. The second one is from the bipartisan infrastructure law that was passed, and it's 90% covered by feds, and then state is 5, and we were 2.5, counties 2.5. So our 2.5 is $17,739 on that one. And then the third one is a community grant. Again, it's a 95, 2.5 split. Our portion of that one is about $28,000. So our responsibility from the city side is roughly $45,864 in order for the airport to take in the 150, the 709, and the $1,125,000, close to $2 million. Susan Harmon, our airport manager, is here with us tonight and can answer any questions on this project or these grants, and we are asking for your ratification and approval of this money.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mizel. Susan, thank you for being here. Commissioners, you have questions? Susan, I want to say personally, you have really taken on the endeavor of finding grants and really opened up that aperture, and appreciate your continued work as our airport manager. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you for your support.
Okay. No further questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-213.
Municipal order authorizing the mayor to execute a lease agreement with Bowling Green International Festival, Inc. to lease Circus Square Park and designated streets for September 27th and 28th, 2024, and further waiving the normal rental fees for the rental of Circus Square Park for this event.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Bailey, second by Commissioner Dana Beasley Brown. Mr. Mizel.
It's hard to believe, but on Saturday, September 28th, that will be the 34th annual International Festival coming to Circus Square Park. This, again, is kind of become routine. They've approached us again, respectfully asking for us to waive the rental fees for Circus Square Park in return for a city sponsorship of the event. Brent Childers and his department, Leda and her group go down, and we have a table and tent there set up, and it's a big event, and we just are asking for approval of the waiver of the rental, and in your packets is the lease agreement. Brent Belcher can answer any questions on this, as well as Hillary Hightower, our city attorney.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mizel. Commissioners?
I have to say, it's one of the best events we have in Bowling Green. I never miss it. And if whoever's watching out there has not been down to Circus Square Park to see our International Festival, make plans to go. It's amazing. It is truly amazing.
And make sure you come with an empty stomach.
Yeah.
True. Okay. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin. Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal Order Number 2024-214.
Municipal order approving revisions to the employee medical and dental benefit plans for the city of Bowling Green.
So move.
Second?
Moved by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Beasley Brown. Mr. Mizel.
As you know, we are self-funded on our medical plan, and we're always looking for ways to save money and also improve our plan for our employees. But I'd like to ask Aaron Holsey, our HR director, to come up and make these recommendations for a couple of changes we'd like to propose, and hopefully you will approve. Aaron?
Afternoon. These are two, I think, fairly good changes for our plan. As you know, we came to you in late 2019 proposing a brand new type of medical plan called a reference-based plan. And we are almost ready to complete our 5th year with that, have successfully saved a lot of money with that plan. And we, now with over 80% of our employees on the reference-based plan, we're ready to terminate the PPO plan and go completely to having a reference-based plan for the next calendar year. So that's change number 1 that needs your approval. And the second one is we are introducing, as we reduce medical, we add a dental. So this has been a huge request from our employees in recent internal services survey. Last year was a request when we started working on it, and loud and clear again this year that employees are willing to pay higher premiums to get some better benefits. So we're introducing a second level of dental. The maximum out of pocket, or the maximum benefit amount in a calendar year per member will be $2,000 under that plan as opposed to $1,500, and that plan is also going to remove the age limitation for orthodontia. So if that's just becoming more popular and being a benefit that people are asking for to cover adults, and so that plan will cover that. And so $2,000 will also be the limit for orthodontia, and when we talk about orthodontia, it's a lifetime limit of $2,000. So helps to have a pretty good dent. In the memo, I have shown you what the new premiums will be for that second plan. So the current plan that we have, no changes to premium. So if employees want to stay exactly the way they are, they can. But if they really think that they're going to use those additional benefits, even at the family level, it does pay out when you have multiple people on that plan. Paying $300 more a year sounds like a lot, but when you get $500 more per person, I think it's a pretty good deal. So please let me know what questions you have.
Great rundown, Aaron. Appreciate that very much. Commissioners? I don't think there's any questions. Great job.
We will be having a separate meetings for we always do quarterly HR meetings, and we're in the process of doing that right now to explain to employees all of the changes. We were here for about an hour today explaining to employees all of the changes and making sure they feel comfortable moving from the PPO plan to the reference-based plan. And I think we'll be hosting a meeting just for you on October 1st if you'd like to attend that. So,
very much.
Sure.
Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal Order Number 2024-215.
Municipal order approving a comprehensive climate action plan contract between the City of Bowling Green and Western Kentucky University Center for Human Geoenvironmental Studies.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
You all will recall, we were one of 3 cities receiving $1 million. It was us, Lexington, and Louisville for this climate pollution reduction planning grant. And we were able to bring on Jake as part of this program to help put this together. Before you tonight, we are recommending that we do a sub-award for services from the Western Kentucky University Center for Human Geoenvironmental Studies program to acquire their services to assist us with the plan for the MSA, Metropolitan Statistical Area, I can't talk tonight, to come up with a comprehensive climate action plan that's due in the fall of next year. So Jake's here, Matt Powell's here, can answer any question you might have on this, but basically $57,000 for this contract, and they would develop a public outreach plan, review and collect data, identify appropriate hardware and instrumentation for real-time air quality monitoring, all kinds of things like that that are mentioned here in the memo from Jake Moore. So Jake, Matt, anything to add, or do y'all have any questions? Jake?
Certainly hear from Jake.
Yeah, let's put him to work tonight.
First real presentation in front of the commissioners. So, as you all may have heard, that we did not get selected for Phase 2 implementation planning. We found out in July that we were not selected. Neither was our friends in Louisville or our friends in Lexington. But because we did receive that $1 million planning grant last fall, one of the requirements is we are still required to complete a comprehensive action plan. We produced a priority plan earlier this spring, which then allowed us to enter the competition for the big dollars. But now we are going back and looking at our next steps. The comprehensive plan is going back to our emissions inventory, looking for gaps, taking a more thorough approach, taking a fine-tooth comb through everything, making sure that we have a, like it says, comprehensive plan. Also looking at how greenhouse gas emissions affect low-income and vulnerable populations. Changes do a lot of work with climate vulnerability and vulnerability assessments, so they are perfectly suited to help us in that role. They're also going to help us, like Jeff said, get the first air quality monitoring station in the city of Bowling Green. Changes runs a pretty robust water quality monitoring network that has a real-time online dashboard, so you can check what the water quality is on about a dozen or more stations in around Bowling Green. So this would be the first air equivalent. People want to see what the real-time air quality is on the ground in Bowling Green. But they are uniquely suited to help us complete this comprehensive plan, which the EPA just pushed the deadline back to the end of 2025. So we have full confidence that we're going to bring them on board. They're going to help us get this knocked out, and we'll have it completed, and that will satisfy the requirements of our planning grant. So,
Well done, Jake. Great rundown. Appreciate the continued work on this effort. Commissioners? All right. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal Order Number 2024-216.
Municipal order approving an amendment to the 5-year consolidated plan for Community Development Block Grant and Entitlement and Home Investment Partnerships Program, funding and authorizing submission to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
This one is kind of a multi-part, two-part municipal order. First thing is the Home Investment Partnership funding that we were notified we can receive. It's $500,000 participation threshold, and it's a one-time pay-in of $148,437. I'm sure some percentage of the $500,000. But we'll get in return the $351,562 funding for this new program that will create affordable housing opportunities for low-income households. To get that, we had to work that into our 5-year consolidated plan, from my understanding. And so we are coming before you tonight for your approval of the 5-year plan that will be submitted to HUD. There was a public hearing held on September 9th to provide information to the public on this one and get their input. And notice was in the paper, everything, all the rules were followed. But if you all approve this tonight, we will be submitting this consolidated plan amendment to HUD for their final approval to get going with this. Nick, hopefully I explained this fairly well, but Nick can answer any of your questions on this one. Elvira, I think, has stepped out. Brent's here as well, so any questions, please ask.
Okay, Commissioners?
I have a couple of questions. So were there different levels of funding we could apply for, and 500,000 is a level, or?
No, it's a formulaic grant, but year one, the minimum buy-in is 500,000. So our formula came out to be 352 and some change, and so they said to get to the 500, then we have to put up the balance, the 148. After that, then it's just the formulaic from there on forward. So years 2 through however long we get this money, 100, are just whatever the formula is. So it's not about an application. We were contacted by HUD saying, you're now eligible. Do you want to start receiving this funding? And we said yes.
But we will not have to match any more years 2 through 5.
Just year one, and so we have a source of funding for that already identified, and we're planning on having that in the budget amendment at the next meeting to show that movement of funds. So,
But this money is 500,000 over 5 years, or it's an annual?
300. It'll be about $350,000 a year, roughly. Right now, our CDBG is up to about 800,000. Every year, the formula will change just a little bit because you're going to have organizations, cities that come onto the program, come off the program. So, but we expect it depends on how Congress funds it, right? They fund it more, the pie gets bigger, but we're looking at somewhere in this neighborhood for the next 5 years.
So can it just be affordable rental housing or home ownership or whatever? We kind of decide how we're going to use it, and just is for affordable housing for low income?
That's correct. The big history here is under CDBG, historically, you could not do new construction of affordable home ownership. You could not build new housing with it, and under home, you could. So home funding is I'd say a little cousin to CDBG. It's not near as funded as CDBG, but like the state receives an allocation, some of our other entitlement communities receive allocations. We just do not. So now we are going to start receiving an allocation of about 350, but it can go into the developmental cost of housing. We're going to target it towards rental and home ownership, kind of based on some of the things we're seeing in the marketplace and also some of the trends we're seeing for the way some of the other funding is moving in the community.
Thank you all again for pursuing these grant funds, and for us to be able to keep trying to, increase our, homes and rental options so that we can keep those costs down, because we know as we can build up that supply, that we know that helps everybody, brings everybody's costs down. So thank you all so much for everything you all do to help us continue to make housing opportunities possible for all of our community.
Brent, we're on the precipice of major dollars. Can you just briefly kind of give an estimate of how many dollars are going into affordable housing at this minute?
In the next, we'll say 2 years, we're probably going to be pushing $155 million of affordable housing investment just in Bowling Green, Warren County.
Incredible
Is that
work.
right? About 155, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And these go all the way back to the tornado
A lot of it is tied to the funding as a result of the tornado.
as a result. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think we could all agree that the tornado peeled back the curtains on the need, the excessive need that we have for affordable housing when you got 400 families in hotel rooms because we didn't have any housing. So that's, I really appreciate those folks paying attention to that and really stepping up and helping us solve that.
There's been a lot of partners in this, and one thing I tell other communities that face natural disasters is going to expose the weaknesses that you might have thought were there, but it's going to bring them right out front and center, and housing was a big one of ours.
It's unfortunate that happened, but that's a positive thing that's come about.
That's where we're trying to capitalize on the opportunity.
And can I ask you a question about
Yes.
how many units do you anticipate that $150 million will provide for our community? I know you can't say for sure, but
I'm going to just roughing it out in my head, somewhere in the neighborhood of 725 to 750. it's hard to say exactly what that number count's going to be on a couple of those, but I'm going to think somewhere in that 725 to 750 is what we're anticipating as part of that. And those will all be directed to specific income levels at or below the 80% mark.
That is incredible.
And there's still other work that we're doing to address some other housing needs. Those are just the ones that we know of that are funded, that are real projects that we're moving forward on. So,
Incredible, thank you.
Great job, Brent, to you and your team. Nick, too. Big team member there. All right, roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-217.
Municipal order authorizing the submission and acceptance of a grant from the 2025 Kentucky Highway Safety Program in the amount of $50,500.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Beasley Brown, second by Hill. Mr. Meisel.
So before I talk about this item, now you all can see why we need Jake Moore up in grants to assist Nick. There's so much going on, so much to keep up with. So it's incredible. It's a good problem to have. We're thankful, but just another example. This one here is for our Bowling Green Police Department. This is from the Kentucky Highway Safety Grant Program. It's $50,500 we would like to accept, and we would use this toward overtime expenses for our police officers conducting traffic enforcement. And as you know, there are a lot of traffic accidents that occur out there and a lot of need in this area. And we're doing our best with the speeding, traffic controls. You know, we get calls and emails every day. We know the issues. Public Works has worked on some ideas and solutions, hopefully, with the thermo signs on the streets now. You may have seen in a couple places where we're putting the speed limit on the street. We're going to try that out to see if that catches anybody's attention. But this money here will be for our police department to go toward covering all of our labor costs toward traffic enforcement. Chief Delaney's here, can answer any questions on this use of this money.
Thank you, Mr. Meisel. Thank you for being here, Chief Delaney. Questions? Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-218.
Municipal order authorizing the submission and acceptance of a grant with the Federal Transit Administration for federal fiscal year 2024 transportation assistance under the Section 5307 and 5339 programs, and further approving state matching funds.
So move.
Second.
By Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Perigin. Mr. Meisel.
This is the annual funding for our transit program. There is some operating capital pieces to this, as well as capital. $1,588,574 for the 5307 operating capital, and then $132,522 for capital. The operating piece is a 50% local match, and then the capital is a 20% match. And then we were also awarded funds for that to match from the state in the amount of $237,190 to help go toward those matching amounts. So we are asking for your approval of this. Again, Nick Sear can answer any questions on this, as well as Brent Childers.
Thank you, Mr. Meisel. Questions? None? Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-219.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting bid number 2025-07 for the purchase of a generator and installation at Fire Station Number 2 from Stuart Ritchie Electrical of Bowling Green, Kentucky, in an amount not to exceed $84,850.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Bailey. Mr. Meisel.
We did a little research not too long ago of our generators. Mr. Dave Hayner's here with us, our facilities manager. Found that we've got some age on a lot of our generators, and Station 2 at the airport, Fire Station 2, was needing a replacement. So we went out for bid. We received 3 bids. The lowest bid came in from Stuart Ritchie Electrical for $84,850. and we're recommending that they do this work. They're going to come in, do the whole change out, and make sure the new one's in proper working order. So Dave's here, can answer any questions on this one. This is a full generator that would supply everything that goes down out there, correct?
Nice.
We were operating kind of partial. Okay. This will take care of it.
All right, questions? None, roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, municipal order number 2024-220.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting bid number 2025-08 for police department ammunition from Keisler Police Supply, Inc., out of Jeffersonville, Indiana, and TXAT LLC of Houston, Texas, based on unit prices in an amount not to exceed $135,810.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Beasley Brown. Mr. Mizel.
Back in August, we went out for bid for ammunition, some practice rounds, as well as duty ammunition. There in your memo, you have the breakdown of the 9mm and the 223 and the 308. This is kind of a mixed bag, but we are going to recommend award to is it Keisler or Keisler? Keisler. Police supply for the 9mm practice ammunition, as well as the 223. Well, actually, the 223 we're recommending go to the TXAT LLC company. And then under duty ammunition, recommending a 308 go to Keisler. And then we are using the state pricing master agreement, Kentucky State Master Agreement for the on-duty 9mm handgun ammunition. And I'm not sure, is that Keisler as well? The state pricing contract? It's a different company, so, but it's under the cooperative agreement. So Chief is here, can answer any questions about this one.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Mr. Mizel. Questions? None. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-221.
Municipal order authorizing an agreement through non-competitive negotiations with Help the Helpers LLC of Bowling Green, Kentucky to provide a mental health and resiliency wellness program for the police department in the amount of $61,100.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
As you know, we started our peer support program for police a year or two ago, and we have found a company that is really good in helping our police department deal with the mental health and wellness that's needed. And that company is Help the Helpers LLC. We have just completed the first year with them under contract and would like to renew for another year at the $61,100. This includes mental wellness training, hypervigilance training, all kinds of skills to cope with different things, access to the cop-proof online resources, monthly peer support, all kinds of things. And Chief can get up and fill in the gaps for everything I missed, but this has been a really good thing for our police department, and I've heard really good things from all different levels of the department that this is really has really gone a long way with our officers and helping them stay healthy, not only physically but mentally as well. And appreciate the work that this company led by Cindy Lemon is doing for our department. Chief, any questions?
I've heard accolades after accolades from firefighters and police officers that have participated in this. And I know when we had the tornadoes, we talked about mental health, and we said we wanted to support you and thank you for finding the right venue to support hypervigilance. We're understanding that the stressors and that a police officer or firefighters go home with on a daily basis can exacerbate into an unhealthy lifestyle, into an unhealthy family And we believe and we hope and pray that this continues to support our officers and our firefighters. I know this is a separate contract, but thank you, Chief.
I just want to also thank you, just hearing lots of great things. And we talk about, our BGPD being the best in the state and our country and the world, and your leadership and being innovative in ways that you are being holistic and how you're supporting our police officers and their whole families. And I think it would be helpful for our community who maybe doesn't know anyone who has a job like this, where you're on the front lines, and what that's like and what that can do mentally and physically to you and to your family, and maybe just help them understand how this has really just been such a tremendous program.
City Manager, Mayor, Commissioners, thank you for letting me speak tonight. This program is it's been innovative, as you said, but it's really changed not only our recruiting style, but the retention, because something that officers, and I've experienced myself, they go through, it's a period called burnout. Around the 5 to 7 year mark, officers see so many things and traumatic events that it causes them to burn out, not want to be in the profession any longer. And they shut down because they ride a roller coaster ride every day of not knowing the next call, what's going to happen. It may be a homicide, it may be a little boy who's lost his bicycle, but you ride this roller coaster all day long, and your emotions are up and down, up and down. And up until now, we didn't have a way to deal with those emotions, and you bottled them up inside from going from a fatality that they worked today out on Lowell Road, and taking all those things home and not really knowing how to deal with that, and not being able to be productive in life afterwards. Peer support and Cindy Lemon has given them an avenue really to release some of those things in a healthy way, not self-medicating, not going home and drinking a lot, trying to forget about the things that you saw, the child being abused, but really a healthy avenue of how to eat right, how to deal with stress, and how to live a healthy life. So our goal was not just to be successful as a police officer, but to have a successful life on and off the job, so you can have a healthy life after policing.
That's amazing. And I saw in here too that there was a piece of it that was the whole family could access. And so what does that look like?
Mike and Cindy Lemon have created an app. Mike Lemon is a retired detective from Bowling Green, and his specialty really is the part of the IT part. So he builds the back end part for Cindy, and Cindy is the clinician. And it's so the family members can go on there and see some of the things that we get taught at work during peer support training, so your wife or your child can get on the app, and they can also access that. And not only access that, but really understand what their husband or their wife is going through at work, and why they may be quiet when they come home, and they know those trigger points of those stressors that their spouse or their loved one has had at work. So they know that he's being quiet tonight or she's being quiet tonight, something might have happened, and this is how it can help them navigate through that.
This is just such a tremendous program, and I think this is the best $61,100 we're spending today. So thank you so much again for just being such a great leader and thinking about how we take care of our best.
We did apply for a grant this year. There were some technical difficulties, so hopefully we'll be able to fund this program next year through a grant.
Thanks as well. I actually, before Commissioner Beasley Brown said it, I was going to ask, how does it help the family? And you kind of answered that. Because I know it may help the spouse, but what about like also the children who may be seeing one of the parents going through something, that it can kind of help them out as well? Does it help the children as well?
The program is built really for the entire family.
I got it.
And they're able to access those videos and see why dad's acting crazy, see why I'm acting crazy when I come home at night, so they know the stressors of the job, where before, and I hate to say it, we were taught, just don't talk about it. And that's how we dealt with it. You just don't talk about it. So that led to the highest divorce rate, the highest suicide rate, because there's only so much that you can bottle up inside before your cup overflows. Yes, sir.
Chief, before you finish, I know it's been out in the press, but we just want to say thank you for supplying this information to all the police chiefs that came here recently to Bowling Green, and you were able to make this presentation to them on mental health. And then congratulations to you on being selected as the president of the Kentucky Police Association for all of the state of Kentucky.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief.
Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey. Alcott.
Yes. Municipal Order Number 2024-222.
Municipal order authorizing a change order to the contract with Sports Floors, Inc. of Memphis, Tennessee for court refinishing in the amount of $42,712.59 for a total project cost of $88,619.96.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, seconded by Commissioner Bailey. Sorry. Roll call, please. I'm sorry. Well, I'm just speeding on there. Let's hear what we have to say.
Okay,
Mr. Mizel.
here's our story, and we're sticking to it.
All
So, has anybody ever refinished any hardwood floors at their house?
Yes.
I have multiple times. It's no fun. So we went out to bid for our two gyms, Coomer Little and Moxley, FO Moxley, to do the basketball courts. We're only going to do a refinishing at Moxley. But we did a full-blown sand down, everything at Coomer Little. Everything went according to plan there. No issues at all. When we got to Moxley, discovered that the finish was already peeling off. The tape, the lines, ran into some issues where we couldn't just throw another coat of refinish on it. So we had to get into sanding that one down too, and it hadn't been sanded since 2017, so it kind of needed it. But to do that, we're running into a change order, and I hate to say it, but it's not cheap. But we got a good bid to start out with Sports Floors out of Memphis for the $45,000 original price. This still comes in pretty close to what the other bids were, I believe. Correct, Brent? Even with this change order. So this change order would add an additional $42,712, bringing this total project to 88. I lost it. 88.
619.96.
Thank you, Mayor.
You got it.
Brent Belcher is here, can fill in all the details, but again, that's the story. So things happen, and that's what we're working through
Please
it.
keep up to par. Doing a great job of it.
I do have a question. Could this company not see that that one court needed more work than the other one? This is huge change order and.
Answer your question. They wouldn't have known that prior. With the initial, Coomer Little was a sand down, take all the finish off and redo. Without a hitch, not a problem. As Mr. Mizel described, Moxley was simply a refinish, add a new coat on, and we wanted to add some pickleball lines and that sort of thing. We'll do the pickleball lines, you had to put tape down. That means when the tape goes down, they could put the line down. When the tape comes up, they're taking finish off the floor then. So then you'd have a divot on your court at that point. So, we have a damaged floor then. It kind of goes back to this is partly due because we had been using water finish for quite a few years. We had done that because the odor is quite significantly less than oil-based, but I think durability really showed that it was lacking as well. So I think the water finish actually proved to show that it just doesn't have the durability as the oil finish. We're already doing oil finish this year on Coomer Little, so I do believe that's part of it. This company, first time we've used them, this company was not to blame at all. They came in and saw the courts as they are. They didn't do the prior work leading up to it in past years.
So are we going with oil finish?
We are going with oil-based and hoping that'll, I think it'll prove more durable with that. We would have liked to have sanded down in future budget years, but honestly, it just presented itself that we really didn't have much of a choice to keep the court in the best possible shape possible that we could get.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brent. Any further questions? None. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal Order Number 2024-223.
Municipal order approving fiscal years 2024, 2025 through 2027, 2028 capital improvement program for the city of Bowling Green, Kentucky.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, seconded by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
This is our official capital improvement program report coming off of the approved FY25 budget. Katie and her team have updated it with the underspending and carry forwards so that we carried over from FY24 into FY25. So there's some of those mixed in here. We also went ahead and updated for the portable radios that we bought, as well as the Whispering Hills Stormwater Improvement Project that we're into, and the Station 8 solar panels that were added. And all those are now reflected in this CIP report, and Katie can answer any of your questions on this, but we'll make amendments to this as we go throughout this fiscal year, but this is the first release of your FY25 CIP and through FY28. And just a reminder, the out years, everything reflected in the out years is not official until that budget year comes around and you all approve that particular CIP to be in that year's budget. So we do this just to keep an eye on things, just to get it out there, get it in our vision, on the radar, but it's not officially in the budget until that budget year is adopted and it's approved. And Katie can add or answer any questions you might have on this one.
We typically discuss that at our annual retreat, the capital improvement projects that are upcoming.
This is also our opportunity to engage on projects that we might foresee or like to see, in the future outliers.
Absolutely. So this is really just kind of a snapshot in time of what we think those out years might look like, but everything is subject to change based on priorities, different projects coming forward we didn't know about. So all of that could potentially happen. So FY26 would be the next year we would actually budget for. And then also, as we look at this document, there are several items we had in FY25 that we've already expended for. So some of those things have come in under budget, some of those things have come in over budget. So that is also identified in this report. So it is up to date as of the end of September, so that it does reflect all of those things that have occurred. And then we're probably going to look at January to do another update and try and present some of those actual costs that we're incurring with some of those projects already at. It may also include some additions if we find maybe we need to move some projects around. Brent mentioned the Covington Woods Park. That is in this FY26 proposal. I believe 300,000 is the amount. But obviously, if it were in the 27 year, we could decide, you know what, we got this funding, we want to move this forward a year and get it done faster.
Commissioners? All right, thank you for this update. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Okay, we're checking for public comments, or none. Our next scheduled meeting is October 1st, 2024. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We are adjourned.